Hello, hello, hello! Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Simrail. Today I will take on a freight train TDE 132021 from Warsaw to Krakow. This one runs in the game along the main line. I will take over the service around Strzałki post, and I will continue all the way until the end of its service. So hopefully you will enjoy this relaxing drive. Probably there won't be too much commentary during the video because there's not much to comment. I will be talking through different steps and things that I do, so you can actually learn what I'm doing and why I'm taking various different decisions while driving, and hopefully you can learn and enjoy this relaxing drive. The whole video should take about 2 hours to complete according to the game, so it's gonna be a long one, but yeah, I hope you will enjoy. There we go. Here we are. So far AI is running this train, so let's have a look at what we are going to be driving today. So it's a classic EU07 livery with yellow faces. There is a history behind that. So basically at one point railway officials, or UTK, I think it was UTK back in the days. It was very far, well, it was very long time ago. Basically, the reasoning behind yellow faces was to improve safety. Their opinion was that it's much more visible to have yellow face of the locomotive, so they started to paint them like that. Apart from that, yeah, it's classic green and yellow, well, actually green livery. The yellow bars are probably just, yeah, just for show to fulfill this livery. But yeah, there's not much else to say about this one. Basically, yeah, it wasn't the best experiment ever, I think, because it doesn't really improve safety much more than having your lights turned on would. But someone thought about this and it was someone's idea, and that's how this livery came into life. So it wasn't associated with any specific company. Back in the day it was PKP, so it was like a national railway, and since everything was nationalized back then, PKP was acting as a single company both for freight and passenger transport. It was only during privatization in the 90s when PKP was split into many different sub-companies, with one of them was PKP PLK, which is maintaining the infrastructure. Then there is PKP Intercity, which is obviously running intercity trains and fast passenger trains. Then there is PKP Cargo, which obviously is a company that usually carries freight in this kind of services. And there are a few other lesser or smaller companies running regional services around different parts of the country. Some of them are obviously already in the game. Some of them have not signed the contract with Simcall, that's why they can't be featured in the game. One of the examples is PKP Intercity. There is a livery for that, and you can see that like a grayish, whitish, blue livery. It is PKP Intercity livery, but it lacks logo, and the reason for that is because Simcall doesn't have a licensing for it yet, or their license doesn't include putting the logo while the game is still in early access. Perhaps there are this kind of reasons. Hopefully, in the future we will see proper PKP intercity trains in the game. Right. Anyway, so that's our today's service. Sadly, I'm not sure whether we can go through those fixed cameras, but I'm not fan of doing that. Okay, we are being sent onto the side track for some reason. And hopefully it's because the train is going to stop really soon. Oh no, we passed Strzałki, we are heading to Olszamowice, so very likely we will be stopping here for technical stop, which is a perfect opportunity for us to take over this train. I am just hoping that AI won't hold me for too long, because this one is supposed to end at 11:44, and obviously we probably don't want to stay here for that long. Anyway, with the magic of editing, I will probably be able to fix this for you guys in case this happens. But it will also give me an opportunity to have a look at my train when we finally stop. Yeah, probably that is a good idea. So let's allow AI to stop so we can do a proper and climatic takeover of the train, which is a possibility. Normally the train would have been stopped for the drivers to change, and change of drivers happens during the trip of a single train. So it's nothing unrealistic. Okay, so the previous driver have stopped the train. Let me just set the brakes properly. So I want independent brake to be engaged, service brake to be in running position. There we go. What else do we want? Oh, instrument lighting. Where's that? High voltage instrument lighting. Okay. I always like to turn that on. Brake delay setting. For some reason, AI is always traveling with passenger delay setting. No, we are doing freight. We are freight service. And there is a reason why we want freight delay settings. It's because it prevents the train from being broken if we have to brake rapidly. Okay, manual brake is disengaged, and now we can step off the cabin. So this is our today's locomotive. We can do a quick inspection. Okay, suspension and cards looks in. Look that there's no damages to that. Okay, we are still sat on the red light. Hopefully that won't last for too long. Couplers are alright. Brakes, I'm not sure if they are properly animated. They look like they are constantly engaged, even though I set the brakes to running. So the brake pads shouldn't be pushed against the wheels. Okay. Okay, so we can also do some math on the train length. So we actually need that. Hopefully the game will give us enough time to do so. Let me just grab my pen. hopefully the game won't ask me to get on the move. So, each wagon is 19.9 meter long. Now we need to count our wagons. So that's first, second, third, 22. So we got 22 cars. Each of them is 19.9 meters long. So that would be 380 plus 3.8 plus 38. So that will be 418. Yeah, 418 meters plus the length of the locomotive. And the locomotive, let me just take notes of that. 418. Okay. Right, we can easily assume that our train is around 450 meters long. But to be exact, the length of our locomotive is 16.23 meters. So that would give us a grand total of 434 meters. There we go. So this is a very important information for us. And for the future, if you will ever be driving TDE 132021 or any train from that series, because the next one would be 132023, etc., etc., because they go in odd numbers. Whichever TDE 132 you will get in the future, it will have 434 meters. Because it's all the same service. The only difference is the locomotive. Right. Anyway, we got our signal. And therefore, we can go. We don't really need to worry about timetable, although if you want to look at it, we are currently here at Strzałki, or is it Idzikowice? I think we are at Strzałki. Yeah, it would make sense that we are at Strzałki. Idzikowice is much bigger. So we should be there around 11:30. So, the speed at the exit, according to the semaphore, is 60 kilometers per hour. But obviously, before we will be able to bring this train up to such speed, it will take a while. Remember that when speeding up, look at ammeter and avoid exceeding 600 amps. So whenever this arrow goes close to 600, do not add another step of throttle. Otherwise, you will blow the fuses and eventually the main switch will be disconnected for safety reasons. as an overcurrent protection. So that's how this locomotive works. Everything is manual, so you can't just crank this wheel to the maximum and hope that the train will manage its own speed. You have to manage it manually. There we go. Also, let's have a look at the timetable. Yeah, our speed is 100 kilometers per hour, pretty much for entire duration of the run. So it is a good information to know. We are finally reaching 60. Now we can use field shunt to bring ourselves up to speed so that we are not an obstruction on the main line. Wow, this train is really heavy. We are really struggling to go past 80 kilometers per hour. Oh, and on top of that we are approaching neutral section. There we go. Almost there, chat. Almost there. Well, chat. It's a pre-recorded video, and I still feel like I'm streaming for some reason. Yeah. The fact that I wasn't recording videos for such a long time, like, makes it even difficult for me to keep talking. That's why at the beginning of the video I announced that very likely there won't be too much of a commentary, because, yeah, trying to talk about something for 2 hours without having any audience to chat with is probably not going to be possible. Let's face it, I probably won't find enough topics to talk about. There we go, EP08. Yeah, it's going to be a very long journey, I have to say. But the good thing is that when the route expansion comes out, which should expand the route all the way to Krakow, you will be able to finish this service in full. Because right now the service will finish at Tunnel in about 3 hours. I doubt it's gonna take 3 hours. I'm sure we will be much sooner at the tunnel, unless something happens. The thing is, I don't really have that much time to to play all the way to tunnel, so we might cut this service short. Yeah, we should be alright. We should be alright at least until Włoszczowa or Psary. Oh. We need some more juice. Hang on, what time did this service start? It actually starts at 10:07. Okay. So for the future, if you need a full timetable and you want to start a service at its beginning, if you find a really nice service, which this one is pretty alright, you can actually find a spawn time, which is 10:07. If I would have logged in at 10:07 in the morning, which I didn't, I would be able to take over this service at the beginning of its journey. Which is probably the biggest issue with the game, that you can't view the timetables in offline mode. Let's say, filter the service and say, okay, I want this service and I want to start at the beginning. Tell me which server should I join and when. Because I believe there is such possibility to make such filtration, but obviously, again, it's extra work for developers, but it's quality of life improvement for the players. Oh wow, this one is struggling. We are definitely going uphill. And you can see that this locomotive is really struggling with this cargo. We are barely doing 90. And the service speed limit is 100 kilometers per hour. We can't go any faster on any route. Yeah, that's the maximum she can have, so I can't go any faster if the locomotive can't handle it, and I can't add any more throttle because that's the maximum. Okay. That's another neutral section. Okay, now we can reapply the throttle. Yeah, and that is the maximum throttle. There we go. Pendolino or ED250. I'm really thinking about making a service with ED250. However, I'm waiting for full implementation of ETCS. Because right now, as far as I'm aware, there is no ETCS in the game. Therefore, basically, the entire system that is supposed to make ED250 safe on Polish railways doesn't work actually. All you get is alerter, and the screens aren't the best in ED250 when it comes to visibility of your current speed. So if the system that will automatically control your speed doesn't work, it makes it much more difficult to drive this service, and I don't think it's a good idea at the moment. Because the speedometer you get in ED250 is just a small screen somewhere on the side, because the main middle screen is reserved for ETCS that doesn't work. That's why I'm trying to avoid making any content related to ED250. But stay tuned to everyone. There will be videos of me driving fast passenger services. But just for the future reference, and just in case anyone has any questions about this, that's the reason why you won't find any of my videos of me driving ED250, except maybe I can't remember if I ever released any videos of me driving that. I think during one of my first streams I tried it for a few minutes, but yeah, I didn't enjoy it just because ETCS doesn't work. So when that will be working and fully implemented in the game, I will be making content about ED250 and driving it on this line. Until then, well, yeah, you can see that not many players are actually driving it, because it's a pain right now to drive it. Okay, we received entry to the track number 3, and I have a feeling that AI is sending me onto the side track, because track number 3 is effectively a side track, and there's another neutral section. Oh my days. Yeah, I have a feeling that AI is going to hold me for the duration of that technical stop. Well, technically my only hope would be a player joining in and letting me through. But I don't think this will happen. Oh, I think we might be able to just go through. We will have to slow down though. Oh no, it's just a pre-signal. Ah, what a shame. Entry is at 40 or 60. I can't remember if there is a bar or not. Don't see a bar. Yeah, there is no bar. So, the fact that there is no bar under this sign means that it's entry at 40 kilometers per hour and the next signal will be stopped. So now our only hope to progress any further with the next 10-15 minutes, in fact it's almost 15 minutes, is another player joining and take the decision to send me in. Until then, well, I have to wait until 11:44. Then I can see that there is similar wait at Olszamowice. Meaning that I probably won't be able to finish this service during this video, because I gotta go to work. But nevertheless, we will enjoy some train action today. Unfortunately, we won't be able to finish entire service. But this also shows that the route that is present in this game is so long that there's plenty of places to explore. There is so much content in a game that is, what, less than $30? Or is it $30 right now? I think that Simrail is now around $30 or £30 now. I think it was like £25 or something. Not sure how much they charge in Polish zloty and euro, but you can check it on Steam because that's where the game is available. Wow, so much content, and you get all that for that single price. So, in my opinion, you should consider to pick this product up. And on top of that, I am currently in a multiplayer session. So there are other players driving trains, and there are other players working as a signalers. And I am currently on a post that can be taken over by a signaler. So another player may join in and start dispatching on this station. Right, we are slowly rolling in. I can already see the red signal in the distance, although in the video you might not see it as well as I do. But there is a signal. There we go, we got tankist. As I said before, there is a player who may take over the station, and I think tankist just seen me on Steam that I'm playing Simrail and enjoying it. Yeah, I was switched to the chat. Remember to always click somewhere in your logo, otherwise you might not be able to confirm the alert. Okay, so we are now close enough to the signal to see it. Let's just stop the train. The train is secured with local brake. About, yeah, let's give it 56% application, just to keep the train in one place, because effectively right now I engage the locomotive brakes. However, the train brakes are currently disengaged, so it will help me speed up the starting process. Right. I'm not sure if we understood each other, but yeah, I work 6 days a week right now. That's why you don't see that many. Right, anyway, let me disengage the brakes. We got permission to go, which is good. Go. There we go. I triggered overcurrent protection. So, if you ever do that, open line contractors, unlock overload. Yeah, open line contactors, not contractors. Unlock overload relay of converters and heating. Unlock traction motors overload relay. Close main switch again. Unlock compressors overload relay. And try again. There we go. There we go. Whew, that was close. There we go. Well, some chat bug. My message was sent twice. Anyway, let's focus on the road instead of chat. Remember, don't drive and chat, or don't text and drive. Yeah, I'm talking about the rule that I'm just breaking, is it? Anyway, thankfully you don't have to steer, so that wheel is not for steering. It's only to apply power. Anyway, the exit was at 40. That's why I wasn't speeding up. Oh, I am still too close to the switches. Oh my days. There we go. We now left the switches. I should have paid attention to distance boards. So, if you are ever wondering whether you are far enough from a place, these are distance boards, and they are placed every 200 meters. There we go. No, 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 no. Do not apply any brakes. There we go. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Trying to text with alerter on. Is not easy. And you shouldn't be doing that. But it's one of the beauties of multiplayer in the game. You can actually chat with people. Normally I would use voice chat, which is also included in the game. But since Tankist can't really respond to me, I might as well type it. Anyway, thanks to him, we managed to save some time. And we can try to get at least to Olszamowice. I can't guarantee that we will go any further, because I'm running out of time and obviously I need to go to work. But I will be able to stream on Saturday, hopefully. I still got one thing to attend to on Saturday, so stream might get delayed, but hopefully you will be able to see this video before my Saturday stream, and hopefully I will still have some energy to stream on Saturday, and then we will try and grab some freight trains and drive around. That's the plan. That's the plan. There we go. We got winter version of catenary. Okay, we are approaching another neutral section. So again, throttle down. And now that we passed the neutral section, we can reapply the throttle. Basically, the idea is to not draw any power while passing through neutral section, or if you have to draw any, draw as little as you should. Therefore, we are dropping the throttle, especially when you are driving EU07. Oh, hang on. Hang on, hang on. I'm driving downhill, and obviously the train is not slowing down. There we go. A few speed limit violations because I'm driving downhill and I applied throttle like a genius. I also don't like the fact that quickly dropping the throttle right now doesn't drop it to 0, but it drops it to the first position. It is annoying and you have to get used to it. In the past it was dropping it down to 0 as it should, but right now it's dropping it to the first position, so you can quickly reapply it. Because what people tend to forget to do is to apply the first position, wait for a second, and then quickly apply the throttle, which is the way that I learned to do, especially after playing Train Driver 2, where it works exactly like that. So right now, when they changed it in Simrail, which used to have very similar controls to Machina and Train Driver 2, because those two games are pretty much made by almost the same people. It's members of both Machina and Train Driver team that are somewhat working also on Simrail, because those people tend to be employed well, some of those people at least tend to be employed in at Simco, which is the company that makes Simrail. There we go. We are now approaching Strzałki. Right, back to the topic. Yeah, so if you ever wondered why the controls are so weird in Simrail, it's because they are trying to mimic controls that you can find in Maszyna and Train Driver 2. They are not one-to-one conversion, but many of the buttons are exactly the same, or within the same area. So applying, well, throttle control is exactly on the same buttons you would find it in Maszyna and Train Driver. Pretty much brake orientation on the keyboard is somewhat similar to Maszyna, I think. Although it's a mix of them too. I don't know what they were trying to do with this one. But yeah, again, it is so that player who is jumping from one of those two titles, which are free by the way, will have easier time learning controls for Simrail. For a very long time, Simrail didn't have control settings, so players couldn't remap their controls, which sparked a little bit of a conversation on the forums, because many of players from abroad, from outside of Poland, were not quite happy about the controls in Polish rail sims, which are completely different to Train Sim World. And I don't blame them, because people got used to WSA, AD, whatever that controls were. But personally, I don't know. I was playing Polish rail sims for such a long time that I actually personally find Train Sim World controls very unfriendly, and they are terrible for me. But on the other hand, there are many players who were playing Train Sim World or Train Simulator Classic, and they find Simrail controls very uncomfortable. Right, another neutral section. There we go. Okay, we got entry at Strzałki, but it looks like, yeah, they will probably be stopping me. And in fact, we do not have entry to Strzałki. Oh, okay, never mind. We now have exit to Olszamowice, so basically, yeah, we will be able to go through. However, at Olszamowice, I'm expecting to be stopped for a while. And this is a long journey. Especially for a train that can't really reach 120 kilometers per hour. Go, I got people texting me on Steam. I completely forgot that for the sake of one video that I still haven't made, I switched Simrail so that it also records any Steam pop-ups. I really need to change it. There we go. That is the entry signal to Pilchowice. We are still ahead of time. And Pilchowice is just a very small signaling post where you can switch tracks for each train. During normal operation, especially on EN1 or any server that doesn't allow you to do track closures, Pilchowice is probably the worst signaling post you can take over. And this is because you don't really have much to do. However, when there are track closures, a post like Pilchowice is essential to keep things running. Go, brakes are releasing now. Oh. Okay. Have to drop the throttle down because this is another neutral section. Again, we got a sign on the catenary. You have to pay attention to those signs. Well, in the game they are meaningless at the moment, but in real life, yeah, you may do some serious damage if you ignore them. Especially with EU07 and EN57, because these trains doesn't have sophisticated electronic systems that will prevent drawing an arc. Because what modern trains will do, they will try and detect these neutral sections. Although usually they are placed in a way that you don't really need to go quick through them. And you can always just roll through them at a speed with your inertia. Or they are placed on the main line, right in the middle between the stations, where you usually don't have to go very slow. So you have enough inertia to just roll through it, and you'll be just fine. Okay. I am now 100% sure that the train behind me will have to slow down. And the train behind me is an express service that is going to... I don't know where is it going, to be honest. Oh my days, I am actually slowing down 2 trains right now. Yeah, I am definitely slowing them down, because I am limited to 100 kilometers per hour. So obviously what is that, 1621 and 16121, they both can travel quicker than me. So right now I'm slowing both of these services down. Unless AI at Olszamowice has enough gap to send one of them onto the left track, which happens sometimes. Because AI is smart enough to do it. Question is whether AI can do it. That is a different question. But I'm 100% sure that when I get to Olszamowice, I will be stopped at the siding. There we go, that was another player. Okay, there's another neutral section. Oh my days, there are so many on this route. Again, let's just roll through it. Beautiful. We got white catenary, because this one is supposed to simulate that there is an ice on them. And we happen to have winter. It's 4th of December right now in the game, which is a current date, in fact. And yes, chat, there are different seasons in the game right now. You can probably see that trees and any other plants, like there is much less leaves on them, etc. So the seasons are in the game. So we got autumn currently in the game. I think it will change to the summer, to the winter in a few days. But the weather is also synchronized with an actual and current weather. I need to slow down. Because the previous semaphore was telling me that I'm being sent onto the siding. And the entry signal will display 40 or 60 kilometers per hour speed limit. I know Olszamowice well enough to know that it is 60. And yes, we can see a double yellow with a bar, yellow bar in fact, which means 60 kilometers per hour. We are doing 50. And we are now rolling into the siding. So that our train can be overtaken by 1621 and 16121. Right, so if AI is going to hold me in here according to the schedule, then I guess this is the place where we will call it quits. There we go. Pretty good stop. We are... Okay, we are still fair distance away from the semaphore. But its indication is fully visible, which is exactly what we want. We can now go into external view. And I'm quite sure, yes, this is the Pendolino that was chasing us for past 10-15 minutes probably. There we go. And trailing the Pendolino will be another service. In fact, what I can do, I can raise the front pantograph. There we go. That's the camera I wanted. Because it looks like we will be stopped on this siding for quite some time. Yeah, I don't see how we will be leaving anytime soon, because we got scheduled stop until 12:42. And that's solid half an hour. We are 8 minutes ahead of time. Yeah, not a chance that AI is going to send us to Psary. Because you would cause massive delays around Włoszczowa and Knapówka. And as you can see, the distance between Olszamowice and Włoszczowa is about 20 minutes drive. And this is a solid drive according to the scheduled speed. Which, as you could see, is not that easy to maintain. In some places you will go over the speed limit, which you mustn't do. And in some places you will struggle to keep that speed limit or to maintain the speed, because it's just too difficult. The train is just too heavy for this unit. I'm not sure how heavy this train is. That's a good question. That is a really, really good question. Okay, for some reason we got this train. Wait, did he just pass the... Yeah, he's coming back onto the main line. Okay, that was weird stuff. But for some reason he was sent on the left track. Really weird, really weird. Anyway, it's not me to comment. I don't feel like I'm going to move anywhere soon. Yeah, it doesn't look like I'm gonna move. Right, everyone, so this was Simrail, and it was a service 13/20/21 from Warsaw to Krakow. It is a freight service, and you can try it out in Simrail if you join the game at appropriate time. It's available in multiplayer. It's going every single day, or I'm not sure if it's going every hour or two, because I can't remember how frequent those services are. But you can surely find them in the Simrail, and you can try it out. And finally, if you have enough time, you can also try and complete it in full. Until then, well, see you next time, and don't forget to share, like, subscribe, join my Discord, and try and catch me on the stream on Saturday. Bye bye.